Seeing our way clear, a demonstration. Today, we are going to demonstrate how and why practicing eidetic imaging lets us see our way clear, whether we're practicing it on our own or enjoying seeing our way clear together. As you're going to see, this practice lets us unscrew the screwy images on our minds that keep screwing us up. Going one at a time, choosing to concentrate on the one image we now seriously want to get out of our way, and following a few new steps for concentration, we see ourselves springing free of a difficulty that may have been bugging us for decades. First of all, we need to get out of the think tank we're used to swimming around and around in by getting in touch with our bodies. So a good way to do this is to close your eyes, and I ask you to do that now, and breathe as deeply as the sea, all the way in and all the way out, until you feel your mind settling into your body. If you do that with us to begin with, you will be more open to seeing and sensing what we're demonstrating as we keep making body-mind connections. So now I'm going to do emanation with you, following the instructions for experiment 3 in my mentor's text, PSYCHEYE, Self-Analytic Consciousness, a basic introduction to the natural self-analytic images of consciousness, Eidetics. You will soon see why he calls eidetic images naturally self-analytic. We are not guiding them. We are letting them guide us by engaging in what I call ISM concentration. We stay in touch with the animating inner motion picture images that are in touch with our bodies, producing somatic responses that are meaningful in dramatically clarifying ways. In other words, ISM concentration takes its name from my mentor's scientific definition of eidetic images as ISM images, distinguishing them from all the images that we're more familiar with, which are IM images, images with meaning, but lacking the body-mind connection. Eidetic meanings come through to us in no uncertain terms. Once we get used to grasping them, we see and sense exactly where they are touching and moving us and what directions they're moving us in. Their exquisite, composite clarity reveals the lucidity within us which we're used to overlooking. That lucidity keeps showing us out of the confusions that words alone keep causing. In order to enjoy this natural lucidity within us, we need to look into each image long enough for it to have the time to come alive, as it keeps revealing and releasing the inner strengths we're ordinarily overlooking. Once we're clearly in touch with these inner strengths, we realize how ready we are to outgrow instead of replaying some all too familiar troubles. So now to begin with emanation. Did you have any questions you wanted to put to me there before we jump in? Okay. All right. So select a situation from the past in which you faced a problem you could not resolve.
Okay.
See that your self-image is facing the problem in the image. You want to tell me what you're seeing?
Sure. It just popped into my head when you asked that. The first image, first situation that comes to mind is I'm about 12 or 13 years old, and there are two boys that I'm sort of becoming friends with. It's like that age of trying to figure out who might really be a friend. And these two come home from school with me, and we are at my childhood home. No one else is there, and these two start doing things in the house that I'm not comfortable with. That kind of break the household rules. I don't even remember what they're doing. Maybe they're going through the fridge, and I start feeling this tension in me. Uh, I start feeling this real strong anxiety, like, hey, stop that. It's just tightening in my chest, in my arms. I feel some heat coming up, um, and just this mounting frustration. And these two, I haven't had friends like this over before that don't respect what I'm saying and don't listen. They just disregard what I'm saying and keep doing it. And they're both considerably bigger and stronger than me. So I'm in this situation where what I'm speaking to them is just totally being disregarded, and I don't know what to do. And I feel, like I said, I feel this tension, this heat coming up in me, and yeah, just as I feel that, I it almost feels the way maybe I felt as a baby at times. It's just like it goes straight to that sense of some of the baby infant kinds of images I've had before, of just this real utter dismay or frustration with what's happening, and not being able to do anything about it.
Okay. So just furthering with Ahsen's instructions, know the emotions and the problems in an intense manner and experience how you are blocked. Give me the picture.
Yeah, so these two are going through the refrigerator, then they start opening up other drawers where my parents have things, and I'm getting upset, starting to raise my voice at them, and I just feel this mounting frustration about not knowing how to change this. It's like they're not playing fair.
Mm-hmm.
Is the phrase that comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I almost feel like I want to have a tantrum,
Okay.
something, just that kind of intensity.
Could you just make that a little clearer what it is in your body that's telling you that? The tantrum, or you name it a tantrum? How exactly is that happening in your body?
Feel some tension in the back of my neck, up into my skull, my shoulders. I feel this heat, and like my face is getting flush,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and my breathing is very shallow.
Mm-hmm.
I feel exasperated, which I think it's all those things.
Mm-hmm.
Just like very, like my world is closing in. I can't figure out what to do. I don't have a sense of like seeing the big picture.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very focused on the fact that I can't solve this one problem because these two kids are seemingly beyond my control.
Okay, just focus again on that. I don't know what to do. I can't figure out what to do, and a little more on the body response right at that moment. I can't figure out what to do.
Yeah, it's almost like panic,
Yeah.
because my repertoire of ways of getting what I want has been exhausted.
Uh-huh.
And oh shit, what do I do now? I already tried everything and it's not working.
Uh-huh.
It almost seems like maybe not the first time I ever experienced that, but it's still like I'm taken aback by like running out of strategies.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just
Now,
a
see
lot
it.
of tightness and fear. Heart beating hard, faster.
Now see another self-image jumping out of this self-image and see how the new self-image acts.
Yeah, I see another me that looks less phased by what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
He stops talking to these two. Yeah, that's basically what he's doing, is just like getting in touch with his own breath,
Mm-hmm.
taking a break.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's jump one. That doesn't solve the problem altogether. So now I want you to concentrate on the problem seen again and get to the worst of it. And you'll notice that it feels a little different because you have done one emanation, so it has changed the energy in there a little bit, right?
Yeah,
Okay, but now I want you to see that the presenting problem again and at its worst again and intensify the negative. See it at its worst and let me know when you're feeling it at its worst.
yep.
See another you jumping out of that you and facing this situation another way entirely. What do you see?
The first thing I see is myself grabbing a cutting board off the counter and cracking one of those kids in the side of the head with it.
What are you experiencing in your body?
Mm, definitely don't feel stuck anymore. I feel strength in my arms. I feel a lot more motion in me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, my heart is still beating fast.
Mm-hmm.
Um, something feels good about it, to be honest. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, just feel just some energy moving in the front of my. It's like I feel energy moving in the front of my torso, and I just like I'm more aware of the muscles in my upper back and shoulders and down into my arms and even into my legs. I just feel a lot more engaged with my my limbs and my back.
Okay, so a lot has moved there, but still, it's not a complete resolution, right? So I'd like you to go back to the presenting scene again. You can see that it's different now. But now as you look at it again, see it at its worst. And again, let me know when you're feeling it at its worst.
Starting at the beginning or starting with where I just left off?
When you're doing emanation, you simply go back to the presenting image and you
Yeah.
notice that it is different because the previous emanation has taken something out of the original, right? So it's a little different, but nevertheless, there's still something disturbing in it, right?
Yeah.
So as you concentrate on it now, feel the scene at it, however it is at its worst for you now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And when you feel it at its worst, let me know.
Yeah.
So see another you jumping out of that you and facing this situation another way entirely. What do you see?
Yeah. I see myself holding my ground, standing there and telling these two that they need to leave now, or I'm going to call the cops.
And what are you experiencing in your body now?
I still feel some. I feel some of the tension more. It's like
Mm-hmm.
some tension's coming back, but I'm also still in touch with my strength.
Mm-hmm. So, so once again, you can tell that this jump, this emanation has not fully released the problem, right? So again, I ask you to go back to the beginning at the and concentrate on the problem again
Hmm.
and see how it looks now. It's a little different, but intensify the negative. Concentrate on it until you see and feel it at its worst. And let me know when you're feeling it at its worst. See
Okay,
another you jumping out of that you and facing the situation another way entirely. What do you see?
but I see myself somehow getting a rope around these two, their ankles, and dragging them out the front door.
And how are you, is your body experiencing that?
Feel some tension. It's almost like I'm holding my breath, looking to see what happens next. There's not a lot of motion this time. It's more static. Feel the tension in the back of my neck and shoulders, and just kind of like clenched again.
Okay, so again, go back to the front of the image. See it? See it again. See it slightly different. And intensify the negative. And let me know when it's at its worst, please.
Yep. It's at its worst.
See another you, jumping out of that you and facing this situation another way entirely.
Okay.
What's happening?
What's happening is that these two are dumping out the drawers of my mom's nicest furniture with a lot of pictures and family things in them, just dumping it on the floor. And seeing that, somehow I'm just like, I just go to the phone in the kitchen. It's on the wall, and just call the police. And that's it.
It's happening in your body now.
I still feel some tension and energy for sure, but I feel a lot more relaxed and um, like I'm able to breathe more fully.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel the muscles in my legs, but they're still engaged, but in a much more relaxed way. I feel better in myself. I don't feel as panic. I don't feel that sense of panic and despair
Mm-hmm.
that I felt before. I feel more composed emotionally and physically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's still part of me that I can feel this like left over in my bloodstream. It just wants to physically
Oh,
attack.
you still part of the this left over in your bloodstream, and then finish that about attack. I missed a little there.
Yeah, it's just the part that wants to try to beat them up or hurt them or physically do something to them. But yeah, it's like that's not totally gone, but I'm not I'm not acting on it. It's this other responses like filled me up.
Okay, so would you like to do another jump or not? How do you feel about that?
No, I would just stay with that last one. I,
Okay.
yeah, I'm actually enjoying just letting that energy of that response spread out,
All right, beautiful. Okay. All right. So
deeping in my body, almost like
I missed the front end of that.
kind of like a a cup of tea steeping. It's just like the energy of that image is spreading out in me and deepening, getting into more of me.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
tremendous sense.
It's not even about whether that's a solution that works. It's just about that's the energy that needed to show up in me.
Yes.
To be able with that step of like I'm just gonna call the police instead of trying to reason with these two or beat them up. It's like this is something that I can do and that I know I can do. And if it doesn't work for some reason, then I'm confident that I'll go on to the next thing. But I don't need to some other completely new energy to show up at this point. I've got what I need for this right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Took me a while.
Well,
Like
that,
40 years or something. But
okay, well, okay.
yeah.
All right. Well, I'm glad you put that comment in because, first of all, it's clear that this stepwise concentration is of the essence. If we didn't give it the time that we get by looking step by step, we wouldn't even be able to get into it, to handle it, right? And so then, yes, it is surprising that these energy formations have been all along inside us and bugging us, but now we can free ourselves. But they have been running the show because we've been overlooking them and not knowing we could get a hold of them, right? So the secret of this process of emanation, which I think is the sort of the heart's core of the effectiveness of eidetic imaging, is enabling us to get in touch with these very powerful formations within us that have been confusing us and infuriating us and depressing us and all that. But now we have a very clear, methodical way of approaching them and surfacing that within us, which is enabled to override their devastation. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I want the whole world to know, because this is not common knowledge, but it could be. Because you see, it's not dangerous because these very strong formations within us, which we're afraid to look into when we look into them this way, they don't overwhelm us. They bring out that in us which overcomes the overwhelm. And once we get a hold of that, then our expectations change because we're no longer living in fear of being overwhelmed by
Mm-hmm.
something so terribly intense and maybe swift. I'm seeing that many of the things that continue to disturb us are the things that struck the deepest and the hardest and the swiftest.
Mm-hmm.
So again, taking the time that gives us, first of all, the chance to recognize what we're up against, and secondly, to enjoy the relaxation that comes from having faced it down. I can see that one of the things that people may not jump into eidetic imaging right away because they think it takes time, but they have no idea how much time it'll save them when they get these bugs out of their system.